Are you working with a Debian distribution and you don't have access to the GUI, or it's in a headless configuration and you have to do Wi-Fi? So in this episode, old GreyBeard here is going to show you how you can configure, scan, and troubleshoot your Wi-Fi connections using the command line. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started. So what I've got here is an instance of Ubuntu 24.04, and one of the things that I've noticed in a lot of the distributions is that they don't necessarily have all of the Wi-Fi apps installed by default. So what we're going to do is first we're going to bring up a terminal screen, and I'm just going to increase the size just a little bit. There we go. And so as always, whenever we do any installation of any new application on any Debian base or any type of Linux, we want to do an update from the repositories. So issuing out the command sudo apt update and apt upgrade -y. Now I've already done this already, so I'm not going to go through this again. Go ahead and complete that. And then once that's done, there are some apps that we need to go and install. So we're going to do a sudo apt install IW, which is there for some low-level wireless commands. We're going to make sure that NetTools are installed. NetTools will have such things as you can issue the command ifconfig and stuff like that, and you can use those to troubleshoot your various different types of connections, layer 3 and above. It's always a good idea to have those. I'm also going to put in Network Manager, just in case that it's not installed or some other issues that are out there. Wireless tools, and also an application called WaveMon. Okay, so I'm going to put this this command in the description below so that you can go ahead and do this. So these are some of the essential tools that we're going to be using for this video. So the first thing that I want to show everybody is to check and set the regulatory domain. The regulatory domain ensures that your adapter follows the correct power and channel rules for the region that you're in. To check to see what is set for, we're going to do an IW reg get. And it's going to show that, hey, you know what, we've got it set up for the United States, and it will show all the different rules that apply for this particular region that it's set for. Now, say, for example, you're not in the United States. Like, for example, I'm here in Canada. And so I want to go and change it so that it's with regards to Canadian regulations. So all I have to do is just do a sudo iwreg set and then ca, hit enter, and then I'm going to go back and check it with an iwreg get, and we see that it has actually changed for the authority having jurisdiction where I am, so here in Canada. Okay, so that's to check and set the regulatory domain. Okay, so the next command I'm going to show everybody is how to identify our Wi-Fi interface, or interfaces if you have multiple ones on the box that you're working with. So the command I like using is iwconfig. Okay, and so iwconfig will show you that all the different wireless extensions. So in this particular setup, I've only got one Wi-Fi adapter, and it's currently connected to the ESSID of test bench. So I've got a separate access point set up for the purposes of this demonstration. And so it'll also tell you some other information, such as what frequency it's on, what mode that the interface is working with, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. It also shows the MAC address of the access point, or the BSSID, for that particular basic service set, the bit rate, also as well to the link quality and signal levels. So it gives you a good indication of what is happening with this particular device. Now there's another way that we can do this as well too, and I'm just going to go and do a clear. We can go and do an IP link show, and I'm just going to expand this out a little bit so we could kind of see that the state is up and it just gives a little bit of information with regards to if it's up or not. Another one that's a lot of people will use, and I'm just going to clear this off, NMCLI device status. And so we could turn around and look and see that we do have Wi-Fi. It's connected to test bench. So that's a couple of different ways that you're able to confirm what your connection status is and identify your Wi-Fi interface. The next command I'm going to, or set of commands I'm going to go through, I'm just going to do a clear, is I'm going to scan for available Wi-Fi networks. Now, the nice one that I like to use is NMCLI device Wi-Fi list. And so what it will do is it will go out and scan and see which available SSIDs that are out there based upon the hardware capabilities. So it'll just take a few seconds in order for this to work. And then it comes up with I like the different colors and stuff with regards to what it has discovered. So we could see here that it'll identify the BSSID, so the basic service set identifier, talk about which mode, what channel that those particular access points are on, what its current data rates are, the signal quality of that. So closer to 100 means that you've got a really strong and good signal. They do have some nice little bars here that will give a little bit of a representation of some sort of quality and signal strength. But what I really like about this is that it also shows the security. So I'm going to do a later video on security and the tools that you can use when it comes down to identifying security issues on your Wi-Fi network. So this gives you a really good idea of what's available out there. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and do a clear. Okay, the next command I'm going to show you is how to bring down and bring up the actual Wi-Fi interface. The command that we issue to bring our interface down, well, first of all, I'm going to go and do an ifconfig, and we're going to see that we've got WLAN 0 is up, and it's got an IP address and everything looks great. Okay, so now if we need to bring down the interface, I'm just going to issue a clear command, and I'm just going to issue the command sudo IP link set WLAN 0 down. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, it is completed. So then I'm going to go back and do an ifconfig. And we can see that WLAN 0 is not there because it is actually down. So now if we want to bring it back up again, it's just the reverse order is we just do a sudo IP link set WLAN 0 up. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and do an ifconfig. And we can see that we're back up and running. Okay, so that's how we can bring down and bring up an actual interface using the actual command line. A command that's related to this, that we use these two commands, is to set the monitor mode or manage mode. So if you ever have to do any packet analysis or any other type of analysis where you want to see the 802.11 frames, we have to put it into what is called as monitor mode. So I'm just going to issue a clear command, and I'm going to just show you what the current state is right now. Okay, so we could just do an iwconfig and we can see that the mode is managed. So the managed mode means it's just kind of the regular mode that you're going to see layer 3 and above information if you do something like a packet capture. But if we do want to go and see the raw layer 2 information, then we have to put it into monitor mode. And so what we're going to do first is I'm just going to do issue out a clear command to make it kind of look nice and clean, is we have to bring the link down. So sudo IP link set WLAN 0 down. Okay, and then the next command we're going to issue is sudo WLAN 0 set type monitor. Okay, and then we have to bring the link back up again. So sudo IP link set WLAN 0 up. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is issue an iwconfig, and we can now see that our adapter is in monitor mode. So now we could do some hardcore Wi-Fi analysis in this particular mode. Now, to bring it back into manage mode, it's the same process where the first thing we need to do is sudo IP link set WLAN 0 down. And then we do a sudo WLAN 0 set type managed. And then do a sudo IP link set WLAN 0 up. Okay, so now if we do an iwconfig, we see that we are actually back in managed mode. Okay, all right. So the next set of commands I'm going to show is how to connect up to a WPA2 personal network. So it's very simple to do this, and this is using the nmcli group of commands. So nmcli device Wi-Fi connect, and what you're going to put in here in double quotes is the target SSID that you want to authenticate and associate with. So we're going to set this up for test bench. Okay, and then we're going to have to give it, it's listed as password, but it's really your pre-shared key. And so you enter in your pre-shared key for, in this case, test bench. And then hit enter. Okay, and it's going to go through the process of authenticating, associating, and it will give us an indication if it's successful or not. Okay. So we do see that device WLAN 0 successfully activated. So now what we want to do is we want to do an iwconfig, check and see, in fact, that we are authenticated and associated with the ESSID of test bench and other information. So another way that we can also verify this connection is that we can use the command iwwlan0 link. Give some of the same information that iwconfig does give, but it also shows how many received and transmitted packets, current signal strength, the current receive and transmit bit rates, its modulation coding schemes, some really good information when it comes down to what's happening with this particular link. All right, I'm going to clear this off. And so for you hanging out here with me, I'm going to give you a little bit of an extra bonus. I'm going to show you how you can actually do live monitoring with the command line through a Debian-based Linux distribution. So there is a command out there, and it's called wavemon. So we're going to do a sudo wavemon. And what's really cool about this is that it gives you a lot of interesting information. So first of all, it will tell us what interface that we're looking at, what regulatory region that it's set for. It'll also tell you some other good information, such as the link quality. So the link quality here is 100% because my access point is just over my shoulder. The signal level, it'll give a signal measurement both in dBms and also in microwatts. Also gives some statistics with regards to receive and transmit data. Also as well some information. So our mode, so it says that it's in manage mode. A lot of this information we do see from iwconfig, but there's a lot more in here to it. It's a lot neater to take a look at and see how much time has it been authenticated and associated, our received data rates, our MCS rates, and also as well too, we can see on a layer 3 perspective which IP address it got. So really good information that we do see here. We can go and dive a little bit further and look at such things as a histogram showing the signal level, what's been happening over a specific period of time. And then we can also do a scan as well too. So we'll just wait and see what's happening with this particular scan. We can see what's available out there for various different types of ESSIDs / SSIDs, also some other relevant information with regards to it. Okay, so I'm just going to quit out of that. So in order to do that, I'm just going to hit F10. So that's some basic commands that we have in Debian-based distributions. So if you really like this video and it's really helped you out, please give a thumbs up. And also as well, if you do have any questions, leave a comment. And I do look at the comments and I'll respond back to your comments. If you do like the video series, please make sure that you click on the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications and that every time I do have a new video. Okay? So, hey, thank you for joining me today. I really had a lot of fun showing you some of these really cool tools that you can use to help you when you do deal with distributions such as Debian-based Linux, such as Ubuntu, Raspberry Pi, Kali Linux, etc., etc. Okay? That's all I got for today. Take care, everybody. Peace.